episode 1136, Greatness Starts with Goodness.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Staring at a stop sign, watching people
Happy day. It is a brand new start to a beautiful week, and I hope you are ready to fill up and to show up in your life. God has got something incredible planned for you this week. Open up your eyes, open up your mind, and open up your heart, because greatness starts with goodness. It's Mindset Monday. Let's dive in. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already haven't had the opportunity, you want to head on over to createyournow.com, where you can learn more and to sign up for the K.I.S.S newsletter, the Keep It Simple Strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, as life becomes complicated, remember greatness starts with goodness. The goodness found in your thoughts, in your actions, and in your words. However, that greatness cannot be reached when you sabotage your journey with words of incompleteness. And you know them all too well. It's the contractions of life. You thought contractions were bad when you were writing in English. Can't, C-A-N''T. Won't, W-O-N''T. Don't, D-O-N''T. The contractions of life. I can't do this. I won't measure up. I don't believe in myself. The contractions, the stop signs of life. Too many things that ring a bell, too true in your life, in my life. Words have power, especially when spoken to yourself. Greatness starts with goodness, but what are you telling yourself about your goodness? Because if you aren't measuring up, there's another contraction, A-R-E-N''T. We use these contractions all the time, and I guarantee you today, you're going to hear more contractions than you've ever heard before. Why? Because you're listening right now. You're becoming in tuned with it. Start thinking and just doing a tally. Do little tick marks. If you're okay with writing on your hand, write on your hand, or keep a log on your smartphone, whatever you have handy, just out of curiosity. Because you know what? We say sometimes as many contractions as we take steps. Okay, maybe we're not taking 10,000 contractions a day, but there is somewhat of a similarity. We are saying things that hurt us. And these contractions are only beating us down. And yes, I kind of like to make light of the subject, but when your words and your sentences and your paragraphs that you're writing in your chapter today, because you have a new chapter every single day, when God rises the sun, He gives you a new opportunity to create impact, to create your now, to go out to live, love, and impact. But it's up to you to make it happen. God can't do the work for you. He's not going to walk the journey. He'll walk it with you, but He's not going to do it by Himself, because then what are you learning? Nothing. So we have to be very careful and very cautious as to the words that we're saying, because it affects our mindset, where we're going with our life. Will we ever get to the dreams that we're dreaming? Those goals. Some as simple as, I want to organize my linen closet. I don't know how many months that took me. And then eventually we moved, and so it all ended up in a box, and that's where it is right now, because I haven't put together the linen closet yet. But you know what? When I do begin to put that linen closet together, it's going to look a lot different from the one that I needed to clean out a long time ago. We need to clean out our vocabulary. We need to be aware of the words that we're using. Greatness starts with goodness. And Winston Churchill says, the price of greatness is responsibility. Everything has a price. Everything costs something. even with what God did for us. He sent his only begotten son here to die on a cross for our sins. There was a price that was paid for our eternal salvation. Everything has a price. You must be responsible for the words you speak as it affects your mindset. But I know sometimes we're just a little too lazy. We don't think that it really matters, but oh, it does. All greatness comes from goodness, and all goodness comes from you. Simply put, no goodness, no greatness. Where are you going to get to where you want to be if you're not willing to love who you are right now? It's not an easy task. And it's something that I am challenged with on a daily basis. Where are the contractions in your life? The can'ts, the won'ts, the don'ts, the aren'ts. Okay, that was a weird one, but you know what I mean. The are nots. But that's not a contraction, so technically it's the aren'ts. I know we can have fun with this all day long, can't we? The couldn'ts, the wouldn'ts, the shouldn'ts, however you want to say all of those. It's those contractions that mess us up and help make us stumble. They're kind of that tripping mechanism that all of a sudden we're like, oh my gosh, why did I just fall flat on my face? Because I said I can't. I won't do this. Are you crazy? Greatness starts with goodness. So how do you stop the contractions of life, the avalanche that comes down and says, I am making sure that you can't do this today? Well, we need to stop those contractions, and we need to tie the knots. That is your K.I.S.S to keep it simple strategy. Tie the knots. And not only are we tying the knots, meaning the N.O.T.S's, the can-nots, the do-nots, the are-nots, the will-nots, but we need to tie the knots with a knot, the K.N.O.T.S. Let's break it down, because we got to get these knots out of our vocabulary. So with the K, we've got the knowledge. It's knowing your facts and knowing your feelings. Because if you don't separate them, you have confusion. And when you have confusion, what happens? Avalanche. Here come all the knots. And the whole idea is to get rid of those knots. Tie it with a knot. The K.N.O.T.S's. The knowledge. Because when you have understanding as to the facts and the feelings, where your emotions come into, you then can say, okay, whoa, I get where I'm at. And that's where it leads to your in, the now. Understanding your season, where you are now. Some of us like to be 10 years ahead of where we are now, or 10 years previous, if we could go back in time. Okay, I don't know about you, but time travel hasn't been established yet, with the exception of God, because he was here in the past, in the present, and he will be in the future. So God's got time travel down, but we so do not. And that's where we have to work in the now, the present, understanding your season right now. You can't fret over something that isn't possible. And I know you hear me say over and over again that nothing is impossible. But when you're in a season of life, when you have a new baby, seriously, you can't just go and take the baby back. It doesn't work that way, right? I mean, we jokingly tell our children, our 5 beautiful children, if only we could have returned you. But for some reason, it didn't come with satisfaction guarantee. Doesn't work that way. So it's the now, understanding your season. Knowledge, now. O for obedience. This is a tough one, but you have to be willing to follow through with action, to take aim. What has God been laying on your heart? What has he been pushing you to do? Are you obedient? Are you reading scripture and understanding that this is where you're supposed to go right now in your life? This is the action that you need to be taking. And maybe it's to put a pause on something, to step away from. Sometimes we get so wrapped up in whatever that can become a distraction in our life. It can become an idol. And that is something God does not want. So sometimes God actually tells us, hello, put the brakes on. But you're like, oh no, I got to push through. I can do this. I've got willpower. Well, God trumps all willpower. And he's going to continually show you over and over again until eventually you'll be like, oh, now God's really talking. You got to be obedient. Follow through with actions. Take aim. The T in the K.N.O.T.S is trust. Trust the process. Be patient. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with God. Be patient with your spouse, with your children. We are too stuck in immediate. I want it now. And not just like now is in the season now and I'm okay with now and it's great and I'm just going to, but like if I don't get it like yesterday, you start talking about the new phones that are coming out, your new cell phones or a new computer and technology, and all of a sudden you get this buzz that's going around on the internet and everybody wants it now. You got to be patient. You got to trust the process. You got to trust God. You got to understand that he's at the helm and you got to let him be at the helm. So when you're being obedient and you're waiting, and then you're like, oh, come on already. When is the next step? Maybe it'll be 2 years from now. That doesn't mean you're not going to be doing things between now and then, but it may be, 2 years until you get to where you think should already be today. We all get that way. We want what we want now when we want it instead of trusting the process. Tie the knots. Knowledge, now, obedience, trust, and finally S. This is one I wrestle with. Self-control. It's taming the beast. This is your awareness, making changes that impact your distractions. We're really good at saying that we want change, but are we really good at implementing it? No. Because it's, we're creatures of habit. And for some things, that's great. Our heart beats without me having to sit here and say, beat heart, beat. Wait, put more blood. Okay, beat again. I don't have to think about it. It just does it. We have a miraculous body. We cut our finger and it heals itself. The skin grows back. Yeah, we may have a scar or, a different indentation depending upon the size of the wound, etc. But our bodies are miraculous. We can be miraculous too when we tie the knots, the knowledge, the now, the obedience, the trust, the self-control that only God can give you. Taming the beast. This is your, awareness. What is it about what's going on in your life? Knowing that, trusting it, obeying God, understanding your season in the now, combining it all together. When you have all of that, when you have that knot in your life, then you cancel out all the can'ts. You cancel out all the won'ts. You cancel out all the don'ts. Greatness starts with goodness, and goodness starts with you. Maybe you want some help with this. Mindset, words, our thoughts, they're everything. They're everything because we get ourselves trapped in them. I want you to be very conscious of what you're saying in your vocabulary today. The nots in your life, the can'ts, the won'ts, the don'ts. How many contractions do you use in your life? Number one. I want you to think about that. Consciously think about that. And then I want you to consciously think about what you're consciously thinking about. Okay, that's kind of weird, isn't it? But what I'm saying here is that I want you to be extra aware of your thoughts. When you're sitting there looking in your Facebook feed, you're just not looking at, oh, there's a cute picture, that's it. You have a thought that is attached to that picture. That thought brings meaning. Meaning has words. Those words are power. Greatness starts with goodness. Where are you in your greatness, in that journey? And what does it look like? Maybe right now you're in a jumbled mess. And guess what? It's okay. It's okay if you're in a mess. Most of us are. You're not alone. So don't sit here and say, oh my gosh, I'm probably the only one on this earth that feels like they just can't do anything right. No, you're not. There's about another 2,000 listening right now at this moment with you going, oh, that's me. You're not alone. But what I do want you to become is greatness, because that's what God sees in you. And that's really all what Create Your Now is about. God sees greatness in you. He wants you to see it within yourself. He wants you to create your now. But sometimes that's hard to do by ourselves because we can't see it. We look in the mirror and we're thinking, oh my gosh, I got to fix this. I've got to fix that. Oh, I can't do this. I won't do this. And I don't ever want to do that because, oh my gosh, and I can't wear this. What was I thinking? The contractions of life just keep piling up and piling up and piling up and piling up some more. And eventually that avalanche comes tumbling down and you are left all by yourself. No way to fend for who you are. Saying, this is who I am. You've lost your identity. You're confused. I don't want you to be stuck in that avalanche. The contractions of life, those stop signs that hold you back from your greatness. Click on the link, Take A.I.M. I have a free gift for you. It's a coaching call with me. That will begin our conversation. It's a little form that pops up. When that form pops up, oh, just fill it out. It just comes to me. Yes, I jokingly have said, oh, only my dog will see it. Actually, he doesn't see it because he's usually on the floor and I'm up. And he can't, he's a bulldog. He's an English bulldog. He doesn't move like most dogs do. So you're safe. It's my way to begin to get to know you just a little bit before we schedule the call. It's just a snapshot. I'm here for you. God sees greatness. I see greatness. Are you ready to see greatness? Click on that link in the show notes. Greatness starts with goodness, and goodness starts with you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit CreateYourNow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.